Okay, so this would be a feedback slash critique for Demonio. I don't think we've interacted before. I go by TK Shazam on the Discords. I am just a nerd who likes Tekken and talking about it. I am by no means a professional player. However, been playing this game a lot, been watching it a lot, playing a lot of Paul, watching a lot of Paul, blah blah blah. I would like to provide some food for thought, right? Some feedback that I think will help improve your game and or at least get you thinking about the game in a different way than you're currently doing, right? Uh, it's not gonna be gospel. It's not something that's gonna rocket you to Tekken Gagoro Mega Supreme, right? But it's just something that should help, maybe put you in the right direction. Uh, Good block, good punishment. Okay, so here, this is where we want to talk a little bit, right? Why the Death Fist? How do I say this? I'm of the opinion that Paul is the strongest at the wall. Anywhere else, he's not that great of a character, right? If he's in the infinite stage, if the opponent's back is not to the wall, Paul is just not that scary, right? And I think even if it's a stage interaction, you want to maybe maximize the amount of advantage you can get out of the wall, right? So before in Tekken 7, it would just be you keep the wall pressure and now you just do this, right? You just kind of lock them down at the wall and everything's really scary because Demo Man is just scary and annoying to deal with and all your advanced wall splat. Now in Tekken 8, with all of these stage interactables, I can understand the need or desire to kind of utilize the wall stage as much as you can before the opponent can take it away from you. But let's take a look at what happens here, right? Okay, so you set up your back to one heat combo against Feng, who has a 10 frame counter hit knockdown, right? And you just lose everything for it, right? I think you get the round. This Fang, for whatever reason, doesn't do shoulder. But look at the position you're in, right? The Fang has all this real estate to work with, and he can just run away as much as he pleases till the end of the round if he wanted to. He has a life lead, you do not. You have no way to lock his movement down, and you have to worry. Now you have to approach Fang, which for any character is a nightmare scenario, but also especially for Paul. You kind of get lucky with the back three because this dude's just mashing, but it's whatever. In the long term for Tekken, you have to think about the stage as a resource, right? And all of these stage interactions also as a resource. I think you should have done like a down one or some basic ass wall combo and then just set up in this position. This is the position you want to be in. Your opponent's back is to the wall with a wall interaction set up and you're in front of them basically acting as another wall. To get past you, they got to fight their way out, which means they're going to press a button, which means on a read you can punish them, whiff punish them, and 90% of your shit wall splats so then you can get way more damage, right? Like it will turn your 12 frame shoulder into a 30 damage launcher. That's insane, right? And even in general, I think if you have the option to go for a combo but you lose the wall, I don't think it's worth it as Paul because you can do so much more. The threat and the pressure on the mental stack you put on your opponent, right? Basically, your opponent has to worry about so many things that their mental stack is overwhelmed and they're more likely to press a button. They're more likely to do something that you can counter hit, whiff punish, whatever, right? That's the core idea about Paul. You want to set up a punishment scenario, whether that's you punish them for ducking, whether that's block punishment, whether that's whiff punishment. Because look at it, look as we go here, right? Your combos are solid, that's cool. So this works out. The stage is kind of small, whatever. Okay, so now we get here, Why? What are you doing? Right? If you're anticipating keep out, you have to start being better at anticipating keep out. Look, the bottom line for Paul is you do not want your buttons to whiff. They're either hitting or they're getting blocked. Everything about Paul, frame data wise, is really good when the moves get blocked. If they whiff, it's useless, right? It's just not that good. That's the name of the game. You want your shit blocked. You want to make sure the opponent is not able to whiff punish you. So when you start pressing buttons, right? Always first gauge the spacing away from the opponent. Is this button going to whiff? If it is, don't press it, right? Unless you're certain that the opponent is not in range to whiff punish you. Because then all your safe on block moves now can be very punishable and defeats the whole purpose of those moves in the first place. Everybody hypes up down forward 2. And the whiff recovery on down forward 2 is actually kind of nice. But if you're just whiffing it in the opponent's face and then just wait and then punish you, it wastes the whole point of the move, right? Try to work on the spacing, try to actually gauge the distance between you and the opponent and figure out what shit is going to either hit or get blocked by the opponent, and then focus on utilizing those moves. Sometimes it's not going to be a move. Sometimes it's just you're going to move in with movement and then try to pressure them that way, right? It's it's a mixed bag, but the issue here is that you're just pressing a lot of things but you're not sure why, right? Additionally, in a more matchup specific scenario, why are you pressing so many buttons into Feng, right? He's got Kempo, he's got back 1, he's got back 4 to outspeed most of your stuff. He's got down back 3, which is a fucking nightmare button, right? All of this shit. So why are you mashing into Feng, right? Why not just block? Let the opponent press the buttons. Let them do something that you will then punish, as opposed to you just getting counter hit of all the offense you're starting. Now your back is to the wall. Now you have to deal with all this Fang stuff. You do a good job of getting away from the wall. Okay, but now what is this, right? Why are you doing sidestep left here, right? Yeah, it's Fang. The whole thing is you're supposed to sidestep left Fang. A lot of his stuff is still weak to sidestep left, yada, yada, yada. Okay, but now look at the issue that's happening here. Look at the axis you're on, right? His back is to the wall. There's no wall to you, but then as it progresses, you're backing yourself up into the wall. Because I'm aware of how this stage works, I know by Paul's foot on his left-hand side, you're not going to be able to sidestep anymore. It's going to be a wall. And now this Fang can start doing sidestep left and just break away from the wall for free, right? You had a greatly advantageous position as Paul and threw it away. So try to be more mindful of stage positioning. Right here, yes, you're gonna start sidestepping right. It's not great against Fang, right? More of his tools will hit in that general direction. That doesn't matter. He's not gonna press anything that's actually gonna hit you from that far out, right? Down back 3 might work, but he hasn't really utilized the move a lot throughout this set. He's not spamming it, so whatever. Just stand block. If he hits you with down back 3, that's fine. You just don't press into it. That's it. If down back 3 normal hits, it's still very good. It's still very powerful. But as long as you're not getting counter hit, it's not that big of a deal, right? The goal is to make sure that his back is to the wall to restrict his movement so that when he back Kenpos, it just goes into a wall. He can't just freely make you whiff, right? The goal is that any button that he whiffs and that you whiff punish with anything, right? Whether it's Death Fist, whether it's back 1-2, whether it's down 1+2. Now, I think this stage is still lit up, so the stage interaction is live. Turns into a launcher, like a straight up launcher, right? That is a hugely scary position for the opponent to be in. But when you start doing this and just start backing away and they just get to run up to you for free, right? Again, it works out, but again, look, it doesn't, right? Because now you hit a sidewall and your huge launch combo just gets screwed over. And now your back is to the wall again, right? You don't want to be caught in these weird angles of these octagonal stages. The sidewalls, unless you're using up back 2, just don't usually work out in your favor. So try to be maintain a very good positioning for yourself where you minimize the risk of getting a side wall splat and you minimize the risk of the opponent escaping the wall for free. Okay. Mm, that's fine. Whatever. No, it's not, right? Why is your defensive... Okay, so why is your defensive layer 1, right? Why is your first defensive habit to armor move, right? You blocked back 1, that's minus 10 punishable. Why didn't you punish it instead? Maybe you don't have the matchup knowledge, which is fine if you're learning or still new, right? But I will just tell you straight up, you are playing the matchup knowledge character. If you do not know your punishment as Paul, or how to set up a whiff punish, or just how to read your opponent and understand what they can do that is punishable and what they can't, you're in for a bad time. He's just not someone who's able to just run this train of offense on his opponent. He needs to be able to block, he needs to be able to recognize a punish opportunity and then just get that punish, right? So you have to be careful here. And let's be real here. If the Feng did something crazy like shoulder or anything, even if he did 1-2, honestly, the armor would not save you, right? Armor, power crush armor is nothing special. You absorb the hit, but it's not like you have reduced scaling on the hits like Rage Art armor. Unless that has changed, I'm not fully certain, but I'm 90% sure that Power Crush armor does not have any special properties where the damage is reduced. You're still eating the full damage, it just becomes gray health, right? So now, any hit, 90% of the stuff he's going to press, he does a lot of 1-2 jabs. He'll do down back 3, which will counter hit you out of Power Crush, which is, you will die. In this context and in general against Feng, I don't think Power Crush is a good option here. The mid Power Crush is fine, but again, if you're faced with the opportunity to just block punish or go for a power crush, you go for the block punish, right? The frame advantage from the block punish will help you set up more offense. The power crush is just asking to get your life thrown away because again, it's punishable. Okay, so why are you not using quarter circle forward 3 like at all here, right? You use the cancel was nice, sure, but this entire time you're dancing around, you could have just started doing quarter circle forward 3 and rack up some easy chip damage, right? I don't care for what other people say. Quarter circle forward 3 is a top tier low even in this game, even with all the cracked out lows other characters seem to get. I mean, Dragonov's hatchet kick's now a stagger block, so it's whatever. The move's kind of dookie now, but I mean, it's still a hatchet kick. It's whatever. Quarter circle 4-3 is a top tier low. I don't care for what anyone says. You need to learn how to utilize and abuse that move. You have a button that basically reads here at any point in the match get 17 free points of damage, right? That's 2 less pokes. That's 1 less combo starter. That can, with 2, maybe 3 quarter circle 4-3s, you've done enough damage to do a little mini. That's equivalent to like a mini combo and made your life that much easier, right? It's true damage as well. It's not recoverable gray health damage. It is true damage, right? So again, you need to figure out when you can start placing your lows and start making the opponent either smashing more so you can whiff punish or block punish them, or start ducking so that your mids will start working, right? This fake out with the 4-4-2-1's fine. It's not terrible. I like what you're doing here. I think the combo works out super solid, right? But again, you could have gotten free damage essentially on top of that. You do it here, but now we run into the same issue again, right? Where you're not taking into account the stage positioning. You go for the quarter circle forward 3, but then you're mashing into it? No, you're just blocking here. That's fine. But you're not moving, right? Here, it's the opposite issue. So earlier, you needed to stay still or do sidestep right in order to get better alignment on the wall. Here, you need to do sidestep right and just start getting away from the wall. This forces the Fang to use more specific moves like down back 3 or his homing moves or back 4, right? And it can be scary dealing with down back 3, but that's what you need to force the Fang to do Because if he presses down back 3 and you guess correctly once, he was risking, how much is down back 3? Like 15 damage? 15 to 40 damage, right? Just don't press into it. Easier said than done, but that's what you have to do. Versus you getting a 70 damage easy mode combo with while standing 2, right? You have to force the Feng to take a risk. How are you going to do that? You're not going to do that by just letting him press all the button he wants while you're backing up into the wall, right? So you need to start moving away from it. Or, I guess Power Crush worked out, but it's whatever. Or you need to start throwing him. I don't see a lot of throws in your gameplay, and I'm not sure why. Throws are one, they're OP in Tekken 8 as of right now. Maybe that changes with the June patch, but who knows. But another thing is that Paul has a full throw game with a lot of space control, right? He can switch positions, he can wall splat, he can change the axis the opponent's on. He can do a lot of things with his throws. It's not the scariest throw game, right? That's still like Dragunov and King with their Oki. But I'm not talking about how threatening the throw game is. I'm talking about the utility and how it can supplement your game plan. With one back 1+4, you would immediately change the position on him. Instead of getting this demo man blocked, right, because he's just backdashing, you do the back 1+4, you immediately throw him into the wall, and now his back is to the wall, and you can start doing all the Oki and the pressure that you want, right? Again, when you have movement when it comes to stage position, but you also have a good variety of throws that will help you control the positioning around the stage as well. You need to take advantage of that. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, so this is what we're talking about, right? You don't have any good spacing. You don't really have a read on when the Feng is approaching. You're just throwing it out there, hoping that he'll run into it. But he just sees that, right? And then just whiffs and gets to whiff punish you for free. Don't whiff your buttons. If the Feng is just running back and doing back Kenpo, just wait. Just wait it out. Nobody has a health lead. You can run out the clock as much as you want, right? And you can just wait it out. Or if you're gonna approach, dash block to around where my mouse cursor is, so like the center of this arena. Don't dash in too much, right? Because then you're gonna risk running into his keep out. But close the distance a little bit, let him feel a little bit pressured from you approaching, and he'll throw something out that you'll either block or whiff punish, right? Again, yes, Paul has to play a little bit of a lot more Tekken 7 than he does Tekken 8. That's just the nature of the game, right? You have to let your opponent play. You don't have a choice. You want to let your opponent play the game, see what they do, and then formulate an attack based around that. Do they mash a lot of buttons? Position yourself to whiff or block punish. Do they stand block a lot? Start doing lows, start doing throws. Do they flash tuck a lot? Start doing mids. Do they just keep backing up? Then slowly approach them and push them back into the wall, right? If you're not sure what to do about offense, look at what your opponent is doing, look at what you can do against that, and then just start doing it, right? This is going to be a running theme. I hate back 3 from Feng. God, this shit's so annoying. See, now the issue is he's getting used to how you're deciding to approach with your mids and how you like to structure your offense. At any point, you just start doing lows. This guy has not blocked a low from you this entire set, maybe, right? The moment he didn't block Demo Man, right, he just backdashed away. You knew what type of player you're facing. You want to use back 4, you want to use more, so Corsical 4-3. Sidestep 3 is also really good. It's got more range than you would think, right? He's stand blocking and backdashing a lot. Do the shit that beats that. Throws and your longer range lows. Whatever you called out with down 4-2, nice. Okay, that's fine. Again, stage positioning. Don't let him get up and don't let him just have all this real estate for free. Now your back is to the wall. You're fighting your way out of there, but now look at where look at where you're ending. Look at where you're ending up, man. Uh uh. Yeah, there you go. See, and now the round's over. Oh, he didn't. He wasn't able to kill you. Ah, that's tragic. That's tragic. Tragic. Anyway, uh, I'm not gonna. I don't have the energy to do a full breakdown. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. A neutral punishment slash matchup knowledge combo slash Oki personal opinion stuff. Neutral. When you press a button as Paul, you have to ask yourself, why are you pressing this button? What has the opponent done that will make you have that button get blocked or hit, right? Start tailoring your offense to what your opponent is doing. Play more compact. Don't throw out a button unless you know it's going to work. If you're going to throw out a button, start throwing out down forward 4, right? Down forward 4 is a goated move. That move is fucking mindless. You just press it and then you do whatever the fuck you want after. It's scary. You're up close against Feng. It can be scary, right? But you're only -2, right? And then you still can still move around, and a lot of his tools are pretty linear. You don't just don't whiff all your buttons, right? Get them blocked or get them or have them hit, right? And if they're gonna get blocked, try to do the ones that leave you in a pretty decent position on block. Look at it this way. Here's how you play neutral as Paul. You do your fast moves, a jab, a down back 4, sometimes a down back 3, well, down back 3 because it has better range, right? Maybe a down forward 1, maybe a down 1, right? And then you just look for how to set up your slower moves, right? You look for the spacing where, let's see if I can find a quick example. Right here, when he's running at you, right, you do like a jab and then do quarter circle back 4. Or as he's running at you, then you do quarter circle back 4 as he's running in. Not when he's doing back kempo from range 4, right? That's not when you're supposed to do quarter circle back 4. And try to figure out where to place your slower moves. You use the fast moves to set up the slower ones. Poke with a jab, disrupt with a jab, make your opponent play more compact so that they have to go, oh, I can't use my slower move. So they either have to block or they have to use a faster move, right? If they use a faster move, typically you can block, low parry, or do something else, right? Or if they start blocking because you slow down the pace of their game, right? So they're not just mashing all the time, then you can start using your slower moves or figuring out the spacing of, okay, he's going to approach me, but he's going to approach with one of his faster moves that have shorter range, and I think quarter circle back 4 will work there, right? You have to start trying to figure out where the timings and the situation and the context makes it to, the context makes sense to do your slower moves, like Hammer of the Gods, like quarter circle back 4. Down forward 4 can be a little bit on the slow side if you're in a brawl and you're in a range 0 to 1 situation. But when you're from really far away, that move is stupidly fast, right? Down forward 4 is your friend. It's kind of awkward because against Feng, I don't like being up close against Feng. I like being in the mid range and just see what the Feng likes to do. But you have to be comfortable blocking. You have to be comfortable making a read on the opponent's offensive habits, right? Punishment slash matchup knowledge. I don't have much to say here. He didn't do anything that crazy punishable. I think he punished most of the stuff. It was just maybe a little bit lag, maybe a little bit slow. Just need to brush up on the punishment. Combo slash Oki. I talked a little bit about it. Your combos were solid. I thought you have really good combos. I don't really have anything to say there. My issue is how you approach Oki and then positioning, right? Paul doesn't get a lot of Oki. You have to first take into context what the situation is and then decide accordingly. If you have the option between running up and doing a ground hitting move or some move versus positioning yourself so when the opponent wakes up, their back is to the wall, you always go for the opponent's back is to the wall. Even if there's a stage interaction, that's fine. You want their back to the wall so that they're panicking and then trying to figure out how they can get out of the wall. And that's when your homing options like forward 3-1, like quarter circle back 4, etc. That's where they come in, right? Just letting them get up for free, and then also you not being aware of the stage positioning is going to get you killed in the long run. You need to figure out where to maximize the advantage when you have it. Personal opinion stuff. Use more jabs. Use more lows. Use more throws. I will gush about these moves all the time. Well, Paul's jab's kind of ass, right? But again, it's a move you have to start figuring out how to use. It is your fastest way to start offense. It is the simplest way to start offense. You do a jab, you're plus on block. If it gets hit, you're +8. Frame trap time, right? So much opportunity comes from just a simple jab or a simple jab punishment, whatever. And you need to start figuring out how to utilize that to maximize it to your advantage. It can be awkward, right? Paul's jab doesn't have a crazy amount of range. He's not like this poking monster. He doesn't have like Feng 1-2 or whatever, right? But the idea is that you need to get more comfortable learning when to utilize it because it's one of your faster while still being safe tools. If you needed a fast tool, anybody can do down 1+2 all day, every day, right? 12 frame mid, hell yeah, sign me up. Except it's death on block, and yeah, the pushback can get kind of weird, but it's just a bad habit, right? You don't need to take these unnecessary risks unless you're certain that they're going to match and you want to do a call out, right? Or you're certain they're not going to punish it. That's a different story. But you don't want to let it become a bad habit that you just do all this unsafe shit and then die for it. Other personal opinion stuff. Throws are sweet. Use them and abuse them. Lows are cool. Core circle forward 3 is your friend. Figure out how to use that as much as you can. Down forward 4 is your friend. Figure out how to use that and figure it out quickly. I talked a lot. I don't have much else to say right now. I think I've given you enough stuff to work with. If you have questions, Paul channel's always there. Everybody's usually very nice and helpful, and we try to help each other out, right? But just, again, work on your stage positioning. Work on understanding, like, why do you press the buttons that you do, right? How does your game plan work? How does your gameplay flow? What is your offense, right? How are you setting up your bigger cash outs, your bigger reads, right? Just stuff to think about. Anyway, have a good one.